Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss about the Aborigines of England. The meaning of Aborigines is a group of people who have inhabited the land during the earlier times. So they are called as Aborigines. There were a set of Aborigines who first inhabited England. They were called as Picts. It is assumed that they belong to a low intellectual level. The old name for England was Britain, which was given by a group of people called Britons. They belonged to the Celtic race and they came to the country some centuries before the birth of Christ. Early to 55 BC, the Romans invaded England. The Romans were under the control and the leadership of Julius Caesar. At first they came and they returned home, but then after looking at the fertility of the land, soil and the nothingness of the people, they decided to stay on. The occupation by the Romans in Britain started in 43 AD and their rule lasted for up till 300 years. During the Roman rule in Britain, the Roman people created many roads and improved the land to such an extent that Britain became one of the chief granaries of Europe. Christianity was preached and many of the natives began to learn Latin. In the mid of 5th century, Britain was again invaded by German people and mostly they were tribes, namely Jutes, Saxons, Angles. These people gave England its present name. The invaders from Germany established 7 kingdoms. The name of the 7 kingdom is Heptarchy. So historically it is represented as Heptarchy, namely Kent, Essex, Sussex, Wessex, Northumbria, East Anglia and Mercia. During the end of 5th century, the Angles stamped Christianity out of England. But towards the end of the 6th century, the Christian faith was once again preached in the country. The conversion of England to Christianity started after the arrival of St. Augustine from Canterbury, a famous missionary from Rome who was sent by Pope Gregory the Great. Augustine of Canterbury was a monk who became the first Archbishop of Canterbury in the year 597. In the mid of 9th century, England was again invaded by Danes and Norsemen who came from Denmark and Norway in northern Europe. The territory which Danes ruled was called as Danelaw because it was governed according to the rules of the Danes. The power of the Danes could not last long as Alfred the Great, who was a king of Anglo-Saxon, he defeated the Danes and he established his supremacy all over England. But after his death in 899, there was a relapse of disorder. Once again the Danes invaded the country and they ruled it for a long time. To restore the hierarchy, Anglo-Saxon king Alfred's grandson Edward was brought back in England as king in the year 1042. Alfred's grandson Edward is a man who possessed the quality of being religious. He consequently called as Edward the Confessor. He built the famous Westminster Abbey. In 1066, a few months after the death of Edward the Confessor, William of Normandy landed in England. William of Normandy is otherwise known as William the Conqueror. When he was about to land in England through boat, he stumbled and was about to fall down. Though he is not an actor by profession, he acted very well on that occasion. He pretended that he had purposely bent down. He then took a handful of sand and showed it to the men around him and proclaimed that he would hold England under his weight just as he held the sand in his hand. This was said on the spur of the moment and nobody took him seriously. But surprisingly enough, his words came true, and within a few years he not only had complete control over the country but was able to introduce some useful reforms. To begin with, in the Battle of Hastings, William of Normandy defeated the English army led by Harold Godwinson. Harold Godwinson is otherwise called as Harold II. He was the last crowned Anglo-Saxon king of England. William of Normandy became the leader of the English nobles and was crowned king in the Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066. Among the reforms of William, the most important one was the introduction of the feudal system for the distribution of land. The king granted land to the barons on condition that they would be faithful to him and help him fight his battles. In the same way, the barons divided into lands among their followers. The grantor was called as lord and the receiver was called as vassal. If the vassal neglected his duties to the king, then his land or his estate will be taken away by the king. This system of distribution of land made the king lord to all the lands and gave him great power over those who held land under him. Though today it is easy for us to just hear what the history says, but in practice the system created a lot of tension between the king and the barons, especially in the time of King John. And moreover, his systems retarded the economic progress of the country. William also had a book drawn up called the Domesday Book, which contained all the necessary information about every bit of land in England. This Domesday Book provides extensive information about the landholders, tenants, and amount of land they owned, how many people occupied their land, and all the land details of England. All over England, the Norman barons built huge castles, the remains of which may be seen even today. During this long rule that lasted for nearly 4 centuries, but the language and the way of living of the people were very much influenced by those of their French rulers, and William of Normandy died in the year 1087.